T the star for the star. Nah, we back at T. Appreciate it if you like and suit to V. Hold on, what? Got me. There you go. This is the beginning of the final destination. Are we living in our final destination? Are they making this our final destination? Hold on, what you mean? Hell no, I want to go to heaven. Not with everybody on demon time. Don't seem like nobody going to heaven. Not with everybody on hot girl summertime. Don't seem like nobody going to heaven. Not with everybody on the LGBTQTZAD time. Don't look like nobody going to heaven. Oh, I forgot that nigga that y'all believe to and get on y'all knees for. He goddamn repent all your sins. So whatever you do, no matter how you do it or who you do it to, all you got to do is pray a little bit about it and God gonna make a way. Is that right? Is this the beginning of the purge? More and more people are getting fed up with this backwards, delusional ass system, and they're starting to lash out on all of the zombies around us. So hold on, what you mean?
Shooting playing out on a Manhattan-bound N train at the 36th Street and 4th Avenue stop in Sunset Park just around 8:30 this morning. More than 9 hours later, that gunman is still on the run. And here's what we know right now. The NYPD confirming 10 people were shot, more than 20 were injured. From what we understand, all are expected to survive. This was a horrific attack, but authorities believe this rampage could have been much worse. Law enforcement sources telling Fox 5 the suspect's gun jammed, preventing him from firing any more shots. And as the manhunt continues, police are investigating a U-Haul.
You say, what you mean, zombies? You gotta wait for a man gun jam so more people won't be shot. So if you're already able to injure or shoot upwards of 15 to 20 people, all it would have took is 1 or 2 people to be willing to be the first people to sacrifice getting injured or shot, or to sneak up behind them, to tackle them, to have more awareness as far as what we're doing around in our everyday lives. This is why I say most people just sit back and watch. Most people are spectators until shit like this happen. And guess what? When a player decides to start shooting the NPCs around, guess what the other NPCs do? They just start running, like you see all them people running outside that train. They don't know what to do. They hoping the police and the system comes to save the day.
Truck found in Gravesend, Brooklyn. It's believed to be linked to this morning's attack. That discovery being made just a short time ago. We have team coverage of reporters covering all the late developments, but we begin tonight with Jessica Formoso, who is live at the scene in Sunset Park with the very latest on this investigation. Jessica, what can you tell us?
Teresa, we've been here since this morning, and this is still an active scene at this hour. Police calling it an active shooter situation, and that is because the shooter is still on the loose. Now, it was pandemonium down on the subway platform here at the 36th Street subway station in Sunset Park.
Like that oat milk, you know,
this morning when the gunman wearing a gray hoodie and a green construction vest was riding the train. This was a Manhattan-bound N train, which was entering the station. All of a sudden, the suspect put on a gas mask. He took a canister out of a bag, opened it, and that's when the train filled with smoke. He then opened fire, striking 10 passengers in the train and also on the platform. About 22 people were injured. 5 are in.
So we fucking saying that we know how packed these trains be, where people standing on top of other people damn near. So we saying this dude was riding a train. He then proceeded to go into, matter of fact, first he put on a gas mask. So that wasn't out of the norm. So people wasn't already looking at him like, what the fuck you put on the gas mask for? Then this nigga reached in his goddamn bag and was able to pull out a gas grenade and throw it. Or toss it. However the fuck you did it. And then after that, pull out his gun and start shooting people. We got to be the dumbest, backwards species of human to date. I'm going to keep saying this. We are the dumbest creation of Jesus and God in this year, 2022. Make you feel however you want to. So you saying a man put on a gas mask, pulled out a gas grenade, threw it, and nobody still defended themselves or defended the rest of the subway train? What's really the problem when it takes? What does it take to save the day? What does it take to be a hero? It takes a little courage and awareness. People are too involved in themselves.
Critical condition. Law enforcement sources telling Fox 5 they found a gun at the scene. That gun had 3 extended round magazines. One of the magazines jammed in the gun, which prevented the suspect from firing more rounds. Police are now going through MTA video to determine where the gunman got on and where he got off. Earlier today, the mayor did say that there was a malfunction with the camera system at this particular station. It's unclear at this time whether it was just one camera that wasn't functioning or all of them. An MTA source telling me that the camera system at this station is an antiquated camera system, meaning it's not one of the new ones where they can see video in real time.
This seems like some movie shit or not? So just so happily at the specific destination, the cameras didn't work, and even if the cameras did work, they wasn't a live capturing camera. As far as they don't see a live feed, so they would have to go back and then look at the recording of what happened. But the camera didn't even work. Just so happened at this stop, at where he particularly chose to start shooting people at. Is this a coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. The future is not going to be a coincidence. AI doesn't deal with coincidences. Algorithm doesn't deal with coincidences. Things is happening on an aligned frequency for a reason. This is our final destination. This is the beginning of the end, and this is the beginning of the purge.
Wouldn't say, though, whether or not the cameras were or were not working. Police Commissioner Keyshawn Sewell said that the attack was not being investigated as terrorism, but she was not ruling anything out.
Twisted Tea is a refreshing hard iced tea made with real brew tea. Keep it twisted.
Heard what they said. That wasn't saying it was. They're not saying it was specific terrorism. They're not trying to say that, but they're not ruling it out either. They're finna stop calling these mass shootings. They're finna start calling these acts of terrorism. So then they're going to be able to implement more severe laws, more disciplinary actions. They're going to be able to strip away certain rights from people like they already been trying to do. They're stirring up the pot. Everything is just a melting pot waiting to spill over in each different city and state that's all around us. We're going to have to figure out a way to decode the things that's happening, or to start to break away from these things that's happening. Some people say, I gotta use a subway, I gotta use a subway. They showing all the movies, everything always started in New York. It got the most people, got the most condensed traffic and transportation systems. So in return, it's easy pickings in New York. If you want a lot of casualties at one time, you go to New York. You want a lot of people that's not going to know what to do when certain things happening, you go to New York.
Reported as a male black, approximately 5 feet 5
5 inches tall with a heavy build. He was wearing a green construction type vest and a hooded sweatshirt. The color is gray. The people of the entire state of New York stand with the people of the city, this community, and we say no more. No more mass shootings. No more disrupting lives. No more creating heartbreak for people just trying to live their lives as normal New Yorkers.
You lying bitch. They're just showing that how people in New York is living down in Hell's Kitchen, and the way that these people is living out there, you would think this was goddamn the fucking early 1800s, and these people were pilgrims. How them apartments look, rat infested. New York is one of the dirtiest, triflingest goddamn places to live, especially if you ain't of that upper echelon like this bitch. So you don't have to live by the gutter. They're gonna continue to perpetuate stop this, stop that, but in reality, y'all the ones that been put all of this shit into play, and y'all just study sprinkling more spices to boil that shit.
New Yorkers of all varieties can come together in small spaces and get along and create something bigger. That's what we remember in these emergencies, as well as the tragedy and the thought for the quick recovery of the victims. Is New Yorkers are incredibly resilient.
And we are told also by the MTA that right across the platform from that N train, an R train pulled up at that time, and the conductor and operator of that R train acted quickly. They told everyone on the platform to get on, and they took off. Now, we do know that police has a photo of the suspect, but we still do not know his identity. We're hoping to know more in that.
Claritin relieves symptoms from over 200 indoor and outdoor allergens day after day. Live Claritin Clear.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. A rush hour horror for commuters in New York City when an assailant detonated smoke bombs on a subway car filled with passengers and then opened fire. At least 29 people have been injured, 5 of them critically. Coming as the city tries to get back to normal post-COVID, Buzzcart reports this has deeply shaken individuals' sense of safety and security.
Smoke pours out of a subway train as terrified passengers run for cover. The rush hour nightmare was carried live across the networks. President Biden was briefed. The chaos began at the worst possible moment. The morning rush hour here in Brooklyn. The subway was packed with riders as more and more New Yorkers returned to the office. Witnesses say the suspect put on a gas mask, threw a smoke bomb, and then opened fire. The passengers struggled to breathe as the train continued to the next station. Some passengers tried to flee into the next car, but the door was locked. When the train pulled into the station, the full horror of what happened
Everybody's just thinking about themselves. They trying to either run to the next damn train or just covering their head, hoping that they don't get shot, instead of all those people bum rushing one person that had a handgun. If he would have been any more prepared, it would have been a fucking slaughter in that damn thing, because they would know where they were going to be able to go. So he had a nice amount of time to get to shooting the people that he was going to shoot, because nobody was defending themselves. If we only can defend ourselves with a gun, we already dead. If you think you need a gun to defend yourself against another gun, you already dead. This is why nobody believed that Detroit threat management dude. Because people was too busy thinking they already dead when something happened. So if you already calculated that you are at a disadvantage, the disadvantage is going to embody you, and you're going to be at the opposite end of the barrel, regardless if you have a weapon or not.
came clear.
Nobody had a pocket knife, nobody did nothing. This dude should have been dead on the train.
I saw fear in some of the people's faces. Someone was crawling because they had fallen over. People are screaming.
Good Samaritans did what they could to assist the injured off the train. Photos posted on social media show the wounded lying on the platform. This guy made a tourniquet from his sweater.
Thank you.
Inside the train, you can see a man putting pressure on an injured passenger's...
This is white people that's doing this. Ain't no black people who goddamn making tourniquets or putting pressure on a wound. And it look like most of the people that got shot was either Chinese or white people. But I've seen a few black people run off the train, I believe. Is they the only people that know how to put pressure on the wound or to take their sweater off to make a tourniquet to stop the bleeding?
Gunshot wound. 29 people were injured. 10 of them shot, others trampled. 5 are in critical condition. But it could...
People getting trampled because they so fucking scared. So they running So they running over each other and they running over themselves trying to get out. Where the fuck is you going? We all in the same thing. So instead of everybody trying to run away, if we ran towards the fucking danger, the danger will cease to be a threat to us for a longer period of time. But since we all running, the danger keeps coming because there's nothing that's stopping the danger. So the only thing that stopped the danger was that gun that he had. Wasn't as reliable as he may have thought it was.
It could have been so much worse. The police say the gun jammed. They found a semi-automatic .380 Glock inside the station with 2 extended magazines loaded with bullets. The gunman also left behind a bag filled with fireworks.
He is being reported as a male black, approximately 5 feet 5 inches tall with a heavy build. He was wearing a green construction type vest and a hooded sweatshirt. The color is gray.
It appears that it's a lone wolf. We haven't had any other attacks. Well planned, well thought out. This is not something that just occurred at the spur of the moment.
This sounds like the absolute worst nightmare.
It's the absolute worst nightmare that anyone can experience, especially on the subway where you're trapped. And just when New York City's getting back to normal.
According to the NYPD, transit crime in New York is up 68% over last year. Shootings in New York City are up 72%.
TV the star for the star. Nah, we gone. Appreciate it.